Good morning and welcome to Church at Home with Rachael for Monday, the 24th of June. I hope you're having a really good long weekend and that you've had some restful time. I pray that this is a day of renewal and rest and resiliency for you. On Friday, I asked the question, who do you think you are? And today I'd like to ask you another question, sort of along those lines. But the question is, who did you think you would become? When I was a little girl, we had one of those school memory books that sort of goes from sort of pre-kindergarten through grade 8 or grade 12 or something, and every year it had a place for your picture and your the name of your best friend and who your teachers were and what your favorite things were and what your you flip it over and lots of room to write memories. It had a pocket you could put pictures in or if you got awards at school and things like that. But it also had, for many of those years, it had a whole list of things that you could be when you grew up. And when I was in grade 1 or 2, I think so, I had like 6 different things. Like I wanted to be a ballerina and a cowboy, and I wanted to be a doctor and a teacher. I don't think I ever wrote priest. Just goes to show how well we know ourselves when we're little children. But over the years, we sort of grow and develop and understand who we are becoming, who is God calling us to be, and we experiment and we tag things to ourselves that I love hockey. I've always loved hockey, and I sort of got into watching hockey on television when I was in about grade 7, I'd say. So I was about 12 years old. So that would make it about 1983. And I really, really enjoyed watching the Oilers. I was a huge Wayne Gretzky fan. I probably, even if I look back and was honest with myself, say I had a little crush on him in my preteen years. But I just adored watching this Canadian hockey player who was not too much older than me, and he was taking the world by storm. And this young hockey team that wasn't my dad's. My dad has been and always will be a big Habs fan, and I am too. I inherited that from my father. But I used to go to hockey games with my dad. He always coached hockey, and I got as involved as he and the team would let me. Right from the time I was about 6 years old, I would go to the rink after brownies for practices and games and things like that. But I think this was trying, when I started watching hockey on television, I think I was trying to break away, become my own person. And I really enjoyed watching the Oilers, and I remember games that they played, and I remember thinking the best thing in the world would be to be an orthopedic surgeon, because then I could be a team doctor. I could travel with the team. I could get to know the players. I could be, that was long before, well, not too long, but it was before I realized that I don't like hospitals, and I really don't like the idea of cutting through bones. Blood doesn't bother me so much, but the idea of cutting through bones and, you know, yeah, not called to be an orthopedic surgeon. For a moment, I thought maybe, an accountant or something. I could be involved in the business end of the bill of the hockey team, but that passed quickly. And through the years, I went through lots of stuff. I'm landing mostly on being a teacher, and then eventually, of course, on being a priest. But it just goes to show that as we develop and as our interests develop, so do the things that we're interested in doing. That's how we discern a call, is what are the things we naturally are interested in, or the things that we're naturally good at. Wayne Gretzky was a naturally good hockey player, so why wouldn't he play hockey? He maybe could have been an awesome lawyer or a teacher as well, but he was called to be a hockey player. So was Connor McDavid, so was Mark Messier, so was Kevin Lowe, and lots of other people who played, all of course for the Oilers of the day, and Connor of this day. But the idea being that who we are is not static, that what we want to do when we're 6 or when we're 12 or even when we're 18 or 25 or 40 doesn't mean we're locked into that for life. We could have a whole new thing coming. When I went into seminary, I was 26 years old, and my first year, I really didn't believe I was called to ordained ministry. That happened, that discernment happened throughout the year and really culminated in an event that happened in Holy Week. But a lot of the people that I was in school with, most of them, as a matter of fact, were all older than I was. Andy was, I think, 27, and Dwayne, I think, was 23 or 24. He had come directly out of a 3-year undergrad to come into seminary. So it was just sort of the three of us. Andy didn't come back for second year, and then Dwayne went part-time. So he wasn't really in a lot of courses. So the people I was sort of with all the time, our sort of nucleus in our class, were all people who had come into pursuit of entering ordained ministry late in life or later in life. And they already had careers of some sort in other ways. And they brought with them this volume of experience that I had none of, where I brought with me a naivete that I think that was really important for our group. I brought with me an openness to learning and didn't have the jaded cynicism of having been out in the business world for a long time, or having had to try to raise teenagers and things like that yet. It was a great way for us to come together and share our different parts of who we were to make the priests that we became. All of us became unique and specific priests that were different from one another, even though we had the same classes, we were taught by the same professors, we went to chapel every day to the same services. But each of us brought the gifts that God had given us, the talents God had given us, the interests that we had been given, and we applied them to our schooling and then our ministries in different ways. Who I was when I was who I thought I would be when I grew up, when I was 5 or 10 or 20 or even at 25 or 26, is certainly not the person that I am today. And I'm glad of that. You know what? If I had been able to get over my grossness of breaking bones and fixing, hanging limbs and things like that, and maybe been able to pass biology in high school, I may have made a fantastic, orthopedic surgeon for the Edmonton Oilers. Not likely. But life has a way, God has a way of bringing us to places where we need to be. Not always is the journey an easy one. Not always are we able to go straight from point A to point B without running into potholes and forks in the road and detours and absolute, the road has ended, no detour sign, just dead end, start over. We all have those things. But those are things, if we choose to look at them this way, these are things that lead us and develop us into the person that we are indeed called to be. Do I believe that I am called to be a parish priest forever? Absolutely. I'll always be a priest. Will I always be a parish priest? Absolutely not. I will have to retire at some point, and then maybe I'll take up golf. Probably not. Maybe I'll write books, or take up painting, or be a greeter at Walmart. I don't know. I know that I won't be a parish priest forever. That I am continuing to grow and to encourage to keep going and discern new things and develop new skills and find new opportunities and adventures in life. I will be 50 in a month. I'll be 50 in a month. And my life, I've always said I wanted to live to be well over 100. So my life is only half over. I have lots of time to do new things. But I need to be open to what God is calling me to do. I need to be willing to take new chances. For instance, I took a course. There's an online thing called Coursera, Coursera, I believe it is. And for a nominal, entrance fee, I think it was like $62 or something, I signed up with them, and it allows me access to all kinds of online free courses that I can take that aren't credit courses, but I do, can get a certificate for. In all kinds of things, in psychology, in grammar and writing, in different languages. I just completed one called Indigenous Canada, and it was about understanding our Indigenous population and the nation that was before we came, and colonization and things like that in a new and honest way. It's none of it was brand new, but all of it gave me a brand new perspective, and I really appreciate that, because I need to keep on learning. If I stop learning, then I will shrivel up, and I won't be a good parish priest. I won't be a good wife. I won't be a good mom to dude. I won't even be a good daughter or sister or friend if I simply allow myself to shrivel up and stop learning. So I'm kind of wanting to know the answer to the question of, if I asked on Friday, who do you think you are? And now I'm asking you, who do you think you will become? Who will you be 10 years from now? Where would you like to be? Where might you be in 6 months if you're toward the end of your life, that as you think it may be? What are some things that you would like to see happen, or some people you'd like to meet again once this pandemic is over? What are some goals that you have, or what are some things that you can look back on and say, I am so glad that I didn't do that when I was what I thought I would do when I was 6. So on this long weekend day, I invite you to just reflect a little bit about, who did you think you would be when you were a child? And who did you think you would be when you were in your middle years? And who do you think you will be now, as time goes on? All I know, and I know this to be true, is as long as what you are asking and hoping for is of God, then it is worth it. So whoever you think you will be, I hope you will both be. Have a great day. Have a lovely day. I will see you tomorrow on Tuesday for Church at Home with Rachael. God bless you and happy Victoria Day. Stay safe.